So the other day I was online just browsing away and I ran across a macro lens attachment for the DJI Action 2. The Action 2 is a fun little camera. Um, I enjoy using it a lot. The video quality is really good. It's tiny, absolutely tiny. The whole camera, if you detach the battery, is about the size of the GoPro Mission 1 lens. So that's pretty cool. Sometimes I'll take just the camera module, I'll slip it in my pocket. If I want something tiny that gets pretty stable footage, it shoots up to 4K 120, 4K 60, all those frame rates, D-Log M color profile. And it's a pretty handy little camera, and it feels solid. It's neat to take around everywhere you go. I've really enjoyed the camera. So when I saw this macro attachment, I thought that's rad. I can stick it on from time to time and get a little bit better close focusing. The one thing I noticed, when I took it out of the box, there's no electrical connections. It's just basically a magnetic lens that clips onto the front of the Action 2. It snaps on and holds itself in place. Once you plug it in, it gives you a little notification that the macro lens attached. From there, you go into the menu and you have to enable macro mode. Within the menu, there's just a little one button you push, and then you're good to go. You do have to take off the plastic heat dissipating sleeve that sits on top of the Action 2. So you'll have to take that off if you want to use macro. I don't know how that'll affect run times. I don't know if the macro mode or the macro lens being metal will dissipate a little more heat. Because I did notice when I was playing with it got really hot. It never overheated, but it did get pretty hot. So as I was starting to play with it around the yard, I figured I'd go around the vegetable garden, see what I could shoot. I figured I'd shoot like 4K 120, and then I'd do handheld. That way I could slow it down. From the back screen, it looked like things were in focus. I was pretty surprised how close you had to get for things to look sharp. It's like maybe a half inch away, maybe an inch, half inch, in order to look like anything on the screen was in focus. So I took it around the yard, filmed a bunch of stuff, and then ran inside, plugged in the computer, and everything was out of focus. Nothing really looked good. Pretty shocked about how hard it is to get things in focus on this. Just later on, I was like, well, maybe I need more light. So I rigged up this whole attachment on a tripod, because I figured if I'm so close to an object to get things in focus, it needs to be stable. I can't do handheld, so I'm gonna have to put on a little mini tripod. And then I figured with the lens being so close to an object, I'm gonna need some light on it. So I have this little Ulanzi light and this little mini tripod, and I rigged everything up. And it was gonna be round 2 to go around the yard and see what I could get with this. Round 2, I was still struggling. Even though I had the camera pretty close to objects and I had the light on shining, things were stable. I still was struggling to get anything in focus. I scratched my head for a bit, tried to think about, how I could resolve this. And then I realized the phone app. So I whipped out the phone app, which I never use. I'm not a fan of phone apps. I don't want to use my phone as a viewfinder. I'd rather just shoot on the fly. But with such a tight focus range, it seems like you have a half-inch play between what's in focus, what's out of focus. You got to be within that little half-inch zone to get anything of any quality. So I happened to have a bunch of ants attacking my cat's food, and I was like, well, perfect, because one of the things I like about macro is being able to capture some motion, capture insects, but with this lens being you have to get it so close to the object, anything you want to film is going to go away. If you want to get close to a keyboard or something like that, something static, you can do that. But animals or, you know, they're going to leave. I guess you get flowers, but I'm really struggling with that, with having to get the camera that close to anything. It's going to leave and you can't move the camera because you're going to lose that focus plane. So I was able to finally get a little bit of action to film, and that was these ants. So using the phone app, I was able to successfully get something semi in focus. I don't think you're ever really going to get things in full focus with this lens. It just magnifies things too much. So I don't think I'm going to keep this. Kind of sad. I really wanted something that allowed for a little better close focusing. One of the things I thought about with this is sometimes I'll take my GoPros or my action cameras and I'll stick them in tide pools and see the various creatures. And that's why this was appealing to me, because it's not electronic. You know, I imagine water could get behind there and it might be okay. But considering you can't really get anything in focus anyways, this just isn't going to work. I need to figure out some other sort of a diopter or something of that sort to get these close focusing. And I do love playing with macro. As I was struggling with this camera, I pulled out my OM5 with the I think it's the 90 millimeter macro, and shot the same ants on the cat food. So here's a little example of what that looks like. Which that is not a great video camera by any means, but just to show the difference and the ease of use. I mean, if you're going to have to use your phone as the viewfinder in order to set the camera in place and have a light and all that good stuff, I'm really struggling with the value of this. So I guess it's just it was fun to play with for a couple hours. It's going to be heading back. And just letting all of you know that if you see this out there and it looks enticing, don't buy it. There's not much value in this lens. At least it was only like 20 bucks. So if I can't return it, then I'm not out a whole lot. So with that being said, everyone, thanks for listening, and have a wonderful day.